Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this particular video I'm going to share with all of you 5 tips to write a great story. Yes, so I had made one video 1 year back where I talked about 3 tips in order to write a good poem, and that video was well appreciated. A lot of people told me that it was a really nice video and the tips shared were very much like simple, genuine and good. So I thought, why not make another video where I would be sharing 5 tips on how to write a great story. So I have self-published 3 books of mine till now, the first one being a novel and the other 2 are poetry books. And I know when it comes to novel writing or story writing, the process can be a bit more hectic. So without further ado, let's get started on 5 tips in order to write a great story. So the first tip has to be follow your own style. Yes. So irrespective of whether you write in one particular way or you follow someone else's style or you idolize someone else's style, what is really important is you need to follow your own style. So you may be someone who loves to play with lots of characters, or you may be someone who loves to give a very twisted ending to a particular story. It's absolutely fine, but you need to follow your own style. That is the number one, like the rule of thumb for writing a story. Do not try to just blindly follow someone else's style just because it worked good or you felt it might work that way. Just be honest and just be true to your work and just follow your own style. That's it. So that's tip number 1. Now tip number 2 has to do something with character building. Now this is one of the most difficult part when it comes to story writing or novel writing, and there are 2 parts to it. That is, the first thing is, this is a character who is there already in your real life and you're just portraying all of his or her qualities in your story. So if that is the case, then the thing becomes quite simple, right? Because I already have this character existing in my real life and I'm just like replicating this character into my book. So I already know what are the qualities, what are the flaws or what are the strengths, and I just have to write about those in the book. Or maybe I would just have to take 1 or 2 of those qualities and just modify. That is one part where the work is simple. Now the next hard part comes when this character doesn't have any existence in your real life, and this is a character which you're building right from the scratch. So that is some really hard work, because you are building this character right from the scratch. You have no idea about how this character is going to shape, how the growth is going to happen, what can be the trigger to this character which would lead this person to take important decisions and take the story to a completely new turn. It can be difficult. So in that case, the main tip I would suggest is try to empathize with the character. Try to put yourself in the character's shoes. Try to live. Try to think of circumstances in order to make the character and his story or his or her story more credible. So if you're working with a character who doesn't have any similarity with the persons existing in your real life, and this is something which is completely developed from the scratch in the story, the growth and development, everything is happening on the course of the story, then you have to make sure to empathize and get into the character's shoes in a way that at the end of the story, the character and their story becomes more credible and empathetic and genuine. That is something. So the second tip would be, try to empathize with the characters, try to get into their shoes in case it's a completely new character. But if it's a character who is from your real life and you're just trying to replicate, then it's a bit more easier. You can just modify here and there, tweak a little, and then it works. Yeah. Now the third tip, which is really very important according to me, and this is something which I also follow, is that is taking a break. Yes, do not rush. So the thing about writing, or rather anything like poetry or novel or story, is that taking a break is very important, because during that course of the break time, when you come back to writing your story again, your thoughts gets refined. We are people, we are growing every day new thoughts keeps adding up to our mind, and that way we grow, that way we develop. So if you take breaks in between writing your stories, who knows, maybe the conclusion will come out to be much better than what it would have been if you were writing it the month before. So this is something really important. I know writers who have been working on stories or novels for like years, like 2 years or maybe more, but trust me, it really helps. Because if you start a story today and if you give the ending after a year or something, like if you really can afford that much time, you can imagine the difference it is going to have in your conclusion, because during the course of time your thoughts will be completely changed, refined, better, completely new. So I think that will definitely help in giving your story a completely different turn. And during that course of time you will also experience more, you will also see things more, meet people more, so that all those things mixed together can really give your story a better turn. So this is a very important tip which I would like to share with all of you, that is, do not rush, take a break. It's fine to have writer's block, because trust me, in most cases, also with me, I usually tend to perform or write better after the writer's block phase. Because when I'm going through the writer's block, I just try to forget about it and just leave and take a break, because after that when I start writing, I think the creative juices just flow. So taking a break in this case is really good, depending upon how much time you can afford or how much it is fine for you. Yeah, so the third tip is taking a break, do not rush. Now the fourth tip is something again very important. Keep it plain and simple. Like whether it's the language or the narration, it should be plain. Like do not use too much of verbose or lots of archaic words and all those, just to make it more clumsy or difficult for readers. So there is this difference if you're writing a poem and if you're writing a story. So usually I would suggest to make the stories more simple and plain, because in poetry you can use some verbose or archaic words in order to make it look flowery and nice. But when it comes to a story or a novel, since it's a very long journey, reader is like from the beginning to the end, and lots of characters, ups and downs, and growth of characters, growth of plot, and lots of things. So I would suggest in that case it's better to keep particular rhythm so far as the narration or language is concerned. Like it should not be like up down up down up down, it should have like one fixed rhythm. That would really help, and I would suggest to keep it plain and simple. Of course, in the first tip I mentioned follow your own style, and then I'm saying keep it plain and simple. I'm just saying that do not try to exaggerate the words, or do not try to use some really difficult words which would get very difficult for the readers to understand. Just try to keep it plain and simple and try to follow one particular rhythm. That would really help. And the fifth and the most important tip is just have fun in the process. Yeah, just enjoy the whole process, because if you enjoy, if you are genuine and authentic in your story will come out to be very credible and very honest. So that is one thing you really need to enjoy and have fun during the whole process, because whether it is a short story or a novel, a novella, or a really long one, if you have fun doing that, while developing the plot, the narration, the characters and everything, your story will just bloom automatically without you even have to, even having to worry about it. So that is something. So these were the 5 main tips when it comes to story writing or novel writing. So I made this video 3 tips to write a good poem, which was really appreciated by all of you, and you people told me or suggested me that I should make up another video talking about story writing tips. So here it was. So I hope you all like this particular video, and do hit like, subscribe and share with all the people who you feel will benefit from this video or the contents under this channel. And also if you all would like to buy my books, it is there in the description. You all can go to Amazon, check out the books. First one is a novel and the other 2 are poetry books. So yeah, do share some love. That's it. Stay happy, stay blessed and love yourself. Bye.